Howdy, howdy. Welcome on into the pre-show before the free show. And I'm wearing a green sweater type thing, which gives you a quick look into what we're going to be talking about this pre-show.
There's a SpongeBob quote about sweater weather, and the fact that I can't remember it off the top of my head is...
It's like a song, and it says, like, it's a striped
sweater. Okay, that's
Close,
what I was thinking.
It's funny. I made a SpongeBob reference last episode too, or 2 episodes ago, I guess.
Nice. Yeah, Tepper, I am glad that someone gets, like, you and Ish both get my SpongeBob references because I feel like I do them a lot, and Tepper never gets them, not once.
Yeah, and it's funny. I asked him if Hank watches SpongeBob now because I feel like this is a no, never mind. I think I started watching SpongeBob
probably 4 or 5,
at the age of
5.
Yeah, so Hank's not quite old enough.
Yeah,
for
he just
it yet. He's just too young.
He just turned 3,
yeah.
so
yeah,
we might have to wait. I think he's hot on the Paw Patrol thing.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
no, you kind of alluded to it. I love your green sweater, by the way. It's very nice. It looks comfy.
It is.
Christmas
is coming up.
Christmas is coming. And it does not feel like Christmas is coming, which around these parts and what we do, it never really feels like Christmas is coming until Christmas just kind of punches you in the mouth, you know?
You're like, so right.
Hey, I'm here. And we're like, oh, where did the time go? So I put up my Christmas tree. My family helped me put up my Christmas tree after Thanksgiving, like actually on Thanksgiving night, because we were like, I had one day off, so we're getting it all done at one time.
Exactly.
So my home is decorated, but that's literally the only thing Christmassy that has been done.
Right. Yeah, I'm in the same boat. So we ended up I still live with my parents. Fresh out of college, can't afford to live on my own yet, so
we'll get there.
Disclaimer, I live with my parents. We ended up putting our Christmas stuff pretty close to the weekend after Thanksgiving. We put up our tree. We pretty much go all out, especially in our living room for Christmas.
Yeah.
We put up the Christmas tree. We put up stockings. We have a little mini Christmas tree that we've got little mini ornaments. I'll send you a picture sometime. It's lovely. Love it.
Love it.
We put the presents out and everything. But that is literally all I've done for Christmas. Like, I'm not thinking about Christmas. I'm thinking, okay, next week we have state
championships.
That is what I'm thinking about right now. I'm not thinking about, I got to go Christmas shopping right now because I don't have anything for anybody. I'm thinking, like, it's not Christmas time yet. It's state championships.
Right,
time.
and that's the thing is what happens, and I made this mistake my first year that I started this job, is you think, oh, I'll have time after state championships.
Yeah, you
Christmas
don't.
is there. like this time, and specifically my first year, it was once every like 3 or 4 years. The calendar really kind of screws us over in the realm of state championships don't end until the 22nd, sometimes even the 23rd. Like in 2 years from now, I think that'll be the case again.
Right.
And so my first year covering state was that same thing of it's like it didn't end until I think the 22nd, and then I start having a family Christmas on the 23rd, a family Christmas on the 24th, and then just immediate the pickles on the 25th, and then so it was like, it's the day after state and you're exhausted.
Yep.
I mean, just put through the ringer.
Yep.
And then you're like, I gotta go buy presents. And then the actual worst part about it is all the people who also waited until the last minute, them maybe because they were busy or maybe just out of laziness, either way, they're all there.
Yeah.
And the shelves are cleared. So many people.
Have you ever been to like Macy's or Dillard's on like the week or the week before Christmas?
It is a madhouse.
It's brutal. You have to avoid that.
It's
like you don't
awful.
go to the mall. You do online shopping if you wait that late, because if you try and go to the mall during that Christmas week or even the week before,
it's awful.
First of all, you're not getting anything because you've got a couple things left on the shelves that nobody wants. Second of all, you're not going to find a parking spot because it's pathetic.
No.
It's terrible.
It's terrible, and there's screaming children everywhere and stressed out moms, and it's a hassle.
Now, I've got a question about presents for you.
Yes.
So, how we do it in my family, my mom kind of just sends me stuff that she wants. Like, she'll send stuff to my dad. She'll send stuff to my brother. So, nothing's really a surprise. Is that how y'all do it? Or are you more of like I like the surprise factor.
Yeah, I was
of
just gonna say
presents.
we've always been pretty big surprise people unless it comes to something big that we need before
Right.
Christmas. Like there have been times like there was one time when I was in college, one of my Christmas presents was new tires for my car, and you hear that
Alright.
and you think, oh my God, that's the most boring present ever. And
Until
you're
you have
going,
to pay for them,
oh
and you're
my
like,
God, you're a
holy
college
crap.
kid, and I just saved $400, $500. Like that's the best present ever. So if it's something really big like that, or the need of a new laptop, or like especially
Yeah.
when I was in college, that was like a big thing of, okay, we basically already knew what we were getting because it was some massive, big, expensive present that way.
Right.
But as the years have kind of dialed on and stuff like that, then no, it's more little nice surprise stuff. And yeah,
Yeah.
I think we go more surprise unless it's something that we know and have before actual Christmas.
Right. Honestly, at this point, I kind of just like when my parents or my grandparents ask me what I want, I'm just like, cash.
Yes, exactly.
Because that's what I can use the most is cash.
Exactly.
I don't need presents or you guessing like, what you're going to like, what you're not going to
Yeah,
like.
especially
Hey, I'll give you a return
clothes,
receipt.
you
Yeah,
know.
stuff like that. So I'm like, at this point, just give me cash so I can spend it on groceries and
Exactly.
gas and tires and
This
big
is
girl stuff.
This is how you know we are washed. We are
We're
like
not-
the young portion of washed.
We are, in fact, the youngest in the office, but we're also still washed, I guess
to a
you
certain
could say.
to a certain extent. All right.
Exactly.
There is some Christmas talk. Maybe we'll just keep this going, like different aspects of Christmas all week.
We could talk about Christmas. I think we could talk about Christmas until Christmas.
I'm also
We love
okay
Christmas.
with that. Yeah.
All right.
Maybe that. Yeah. There's our sense of Christmas. Anyway. All right, Malpal, hit the theme expo.
Pickle! To be Erickson.
Yes, y'all. From the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Mothership here in a beautiful Lewisville, Texas. It's Texas Football Today, a show on the internet. I'm Ashley Pickle, the video director for Dave Campbell's Texas Football, a magazine, and TexasFootball.com, a corresponding website. Thank you for spending part of your day with us. Whether you're watching us on TexasFootball.com, Facebook, YouTube, or I think we're not on Twitch today.
No, I couldn't figure out the password.
It happens. Facebook, Twitch, or you're listening to us on the podcast, which you can subscribe to on the podcast vendor of your choice. Thank you for doing your part to support your local mediocre internet show. I am sitting over there at the helm. As Tepper would say, she's my Malpal, she's your Malpal. She's everyone's favorite Malpal. Malpal.
Hello.
How are you?
Doing well. I'm now in the Christmas spirit. If you missed the
Good.
pre-show, we talked a lot about Christmas, so go back and watch it if you like Christmas.
Yeah, this is your number one Christmas podcast for the remainder of the Christmas season.
Yes, that is a great idea. If we do get
Welcome.
our own podcast someday, we're going to be talking a lot about Christmas.
It's
a lot about Christmas.
Festivus.
Yeah.
Today is Monday, December 7th, 352 days until Thanksgiving. December 7th, happy birthday to Larry Bird.
Woo!
How about that? Shout out LP. That was his favorite basketball player.
He's a great dude.
He is. This is episode 1296. On today's show, friends, we will not have Craig Way. He is fixing to hop on a plane to go to the Big Apple Texas basketball plant up in New York this week. So Craig will be joining us tomorrow. So if you are looking for Craig Way, tune into the show tomorrow. We will have him to break down last week and preview everything coming up in the state semifinals. So no Craig today, but we've got some other things to do. So we're going to start off the top of the show. Let's show you the regional final vlog. It was a wild weekend, and so we will do that. And then we're going to have some college football talk. We'll recap. It's not going to be near as big as our normal recap of burning questions because there was only 3. We'll recap those 3, or I guess technically 4. Texas college football conference championships. So we'll recap that. Then Matt Stepp caught up with the head coach of the Timpson Bears after their regional final win over Centerville, Coach Therwhanger. So we will go ahead and let you watch that. And then we will round it all out with what everyone waits for, our DCTF top 10 plays of the week. And guys, I put this video together. There are some unbelievable plays, so do not leave before the show's over. You are not going to want to miss this top 10.
No.
Before we get into all of that Festivus, Malpal, do we have first four through the door?
We sure do. It was Coach Crawford, Aaron Arbuckle, Robert Lagau. I'm so
I think
sorry.
it's Lego.
Lego. I'm sorry.
Robert, you can yell
I'm
at us
terrible
if we're wrong.
Yeah, please do. And then, of course, the last one, Rob Hadaway. Welcome in, fellas. And I'm sorry. I'm terrible at pronouncing names. It's one of my many flaws.
No, it's fine. I always mess up his names too, so it might just be a running joke. Like
It is a running
I was
joke.
going to say, the guys, like, shout out to everyone in the comments, because when we mess it up, they typically just, like, laugh at it, and then it kind of turns into a thing, just like Duchess of the Dorks and Malpal. So,
Yeah.
You know, if we mess your name up, you're one of us. One of us.
We like you. We like you.
All right, Malpal, we'll go ahead and get this started off. Again, a reminder, no Craig Way today. We will have him tomorrow. So instead of Craig, we're going to show you a lot of our nonsense. This past weekend was the regional final round of the 2021 Texas High School football playoffs, and we were all across the state. Here is the regional final round vlog.
All right, y'all. It is Thursday, and it is the regional finals. And what's the saying? Teams to remember play in December? Well, we're about to start seeing some teams to remember as we are into the regional finals. The final 8. The playoffs are narrowing down, and should be some great games this weekend. And we're going to start out with a district rivalry game at Globe Life Field, just down the road here in Arlington, as the Whitesboro Bearcats are going to take on the Brock Eagles. Should be a fun one. Only a couple of games in UIL 11-man today, so all eyes will be on this game and down in Victoria where Ashley Pickle is for Shiner and Furio. So should be a fun day, and we're going to get the football weekend started. Let's do this.
All right, we are Victoria, Texas bound. Shiner and Furio. Trevor Bullard, are you pumped?
Oh yeah, this is gonna be great.
He's calling the game on Texan Live. I'll be down on the sideline for Bally, so we're covering all angles tonight.
All right, y'all. We're going to do a little pregame here at Hurtado Barbecue in Arlington. It's late in the day, so they might be sold out of a few things, but we're going to give it a shot. So this is a barbecue order that Mike Craven will be proud of. All meat and no sides. We got ribs, brisket, and Texas Twinkies. They were out of sausage, so couldn't try the sausage. But that's okay. The main event is right here. These Texas Twinkies, they are amazing. So Hurtado Barbecue, what is up?
Lucky Stepp. Stepp would be proud. Going through El Campo, if you can't tell from the miles and miles of wheat farm, or rice farm that we're working with here. Alright, we made it. Memorial Stadium in Victoria. Shiner Refurio. It's an hour and a half before the game, and this place is packed.
Doing a little interview with Brock Radio. Got a little pregame here. Got the Brock Eagles and the Whitesboro Bearcats getting ready to start state quarterfinals, aka regional finals. I got TweetDeck up, I got football in front of me, and I got Shiner and Furio on the tablet. It is a good day.
The stadium holds over 10,000 people. This is a 2A game. We've completely filled it up, and people are all along the sidelines. Absolutely insane.
What is this? Is this mayonnaise on a hot dog?
It's un-American.
Mike Roach, what is your take on this?
Un-American. I won't allow ketchup. Mustard is what is needed on a hot dog. If you put mayonnaise on that thing, you should be sent to prison.
Well, if possible, I would have done mustard and relish, but they didn't have relish, so I just said let's just do the trifecta, right?
No. No.
You're a danger to society.
Awful.
Shouts to Joe Hoyt.
You and Joe Hoyt are just terrible people.
Well, this is a good example of pre-crime. So.
All right, y'all. Happy Friday. It is time for some more Texas high school football. I'm in the parking lot of my straight gig, my president business gig, and I am headed to East Texas. Back to the 903, back in them woods. I'm headed to Jacksonville and the venerable Tomato Bowl for tonight's 2A Division I regional final between the unbeaten Timpson Bears and the Centerville Tigers. It's about a 2-hour and 15-minute drive down to Jacksonville. Driving right through my old college stomping grounds in Athens. Maybe we'll swing by Athens and take a look at a couple of my old college spots before we drive another 35 miles down to Jacksonville. So should be a fun day. So let's hit the road.
All right, from Victoria to H-Town, now to Pasadena we go. North Shore and Atascocita playing at the other Veterans Memorial Stadium 2 in a row, but this time in Pasadena, so let's get on the road.
This is my old stomping grounds right here. Trinity Valley Community College, Athens, Texas. On the right there behind the cemetery is actually the dorm that I stayed in. And there is beautiful Cardinal Gym, where the Trinity Valley men's and women's basketball teams play. Good times here in Athens back in the day. Rounder's Pizza. I spent many a night here in my college days here in Athens. Good stuff. So we got us a little bacon cheeseburger pizza with jalapeno and some Cajun wings to start out with. Should be a good dinner.
All right, we made it. Pasadena's Veteran Memorial Stadium. We're gonna see how long it takes for my hair to poof out like a poodle. Humidity.
Here on the field at the historic Tomato Bowl in downtown Jacksonville. What a job they've done with this remodel. An absolute gorgeous facility. There's our buddies, the officials from the Tyler chapter. And there is that nice school board there in downtown, here in downtown Jacksonville. Just a great setting for Texas high school football. I love a football stadium right in the middle of town. Hear the train horn in the background.
Can we say hi? There we go. The Atascocita Eagle.
And the Centerville band is performing at halftime here. Centerville leading 14-13. We got the Timpson marching band, a traditional East Texas military-style marching band.
This is the Atascocita dancers, and those are some elite sparkly hats. Hey Valley, what do we have to do to be able to wear these on the sideline?
Jacksonville. About 3.5 minutes left in the game. Timpson has pulled away in the second half. They lead 48-13 over Centerville. And it looks like the Bears are going to have a date with Shiner in the state semifinals next week, probably on Thursday night. Good Saturday regional final morning. That's right, y'all. Got more football today. I'm headed to the Star, as long lost Poochie says, as we got a doubleheader. Lovejoy versus South Oak Cliff, Duncanville versus DeSoto. Should be a blast. I'm gonna find me some breakfast because it's about 9:30 in the morning. Going to get there early, expecting a huge crowd. So parking can be a little bit of an issue at the Star. So we're going to get there a little early and get set up. And we'll see where breakfast finds me. And I think I have to make a Christmas shopping errand for the wife as well. So, hey, we do what we got to do, right?
All right, one final game to go. Bridgeland, Tomball headed out to Tomball ISD Stadium. Gave up on the humidity. We're leaving the hair curly today. Let's get it.
I'm going to grab me a little breakfast here in Burleson before I head over to Frisco. All right, y'all, got a country omelet with hash browns. And of course, at Old South, you got to get some pancakes. So we're going to fuel up for the day.
All right, hot chili corn and taqueria in Tomball. Chorizo, elote, Mexican Coke. Let's go.
The Star.
We made it. Tomball ISD Stadium. Parking attendance, wonderful. Tailgating going on. Let's do it.
What do you think, Gavin?
We're back. All set up here in the Star. We got an open air press box today, so we should get a full atmosphere from both games. There you have South Oak Cliff and Lovejoy warming up pregame. Should be a good day of football.
DCTF intern Josh Price here with the amazing duo of Gavin Moritz and Trevor Bullard. We're calling South Lake Carroll versus Allen right now.
There. That it is. That one game 41.
Got the South Oak Cliff Golden Bears getting ready for a little pregame. There's Lovejoy getting their little pregame in.
Hey, thanks for watching this clip here on YouTube. If you like this kind of stuff and you want more of it, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. And remember, you can watch us live.
There he is. Greg Tepper.
Lovely.
The regional final, Dave Campbell's Texas football vlog. Tons of great food, football, fun, all the content there. We will be having another one at the end of this week, and then I believe we'll be putting kind of a compilation one together for state. That's not 100% determined yet, but I think we might have 2 more vlogs on the year. For sure one. We'll for sure document all of our shenanigans from the state semifinals this week. But yeah, a lot of fun, as always.
I would like to address something first before we move on. Yes. Our good buddy Guy Frazier was seen in one of those clips there on the vlog. He was seen putting mayo as well as ketchup and mustard on a hot dog. Now, I think that is criminal behavior.
Oof.
I think putting mayo on a hot dog is just not okay.
Not
you should get a fine for that. I mean, that's how criminal I think it is. Now, what is your view on mayo on a hot dog?
Well, I mean, first off, I think obviously now at this point, if you said it, then the official stance of Texas football today is that Guy owes a fine for his condiment choices.
I need I should reach out to him after this and tell him that. But
I personally am big sauce person. Like, I need sauce on just about everything. Sauce, condiment, whatever you want to call it. Something of the more liquidy texture.
Right, and I get that.
Last resort is mayo. I probably still wouldn't even do it.
Mm-hmm.
If it came down to it, I might, but you owe a fine, Guy.
Yeah,
Mallory
you do.
said so.
I can't fathom why you want to put mayo. I mean, I get it if it's like if it's just mayo, okay.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're gonna do mustard, ketchup, and then put mayo on top, nah.
3 is too many.
Just don't do that.
3 is too
3
many.
is too many.
We are Texas Football. Today we're here every weekday at noon talking football in the Lone Star State. We hope you will become a Dave Campbell's Texas Football subscriber at texasfootball.com. big week coming up next week. It is state week, and so hopefully our state hub will be up. It should be up on Sunday evening, so there is no better time than now to become a subscriber because you will get all the content needed before literally the 12 biggest games of the year. So if you want to become a Dave Campbell's Texas Football subscriber, it is texasfootball.com/subscribe. All right, Malpal, it is time to transition away from Texas high school football for just a bit. We'll be back in the back half of the show. But for now, on last Thursday, you guys went through and did some college football burning questions for the 4 Texas teams. Well, yes, 4 Texas teams that were in
4 FBS and then 1
and
FCS,
then 1 FCS, that were in their respected conference championships. And so now we go to Malpal.
All right, we'll go ahead and throw that first question up there if I can get it. It's about UTSA. What lessons do you take from last week's UTSA loss to North Texas? Now, if you guys don't remember what happened I guess 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago,
UTSA had a big loss to North Texas. I don't remember what that final score was, but yeah, it was
45 to 23, and most of those were garbage times.
Right.
Points for UTSA.
Yes, exactly. So honestly, I think we can kind of answer this question now. With UTSA, you can take that loss, that big loss to North Texas, and you can transfer that energy over to this big Conference USA championship game that you just had with Western Kentucky, and that's pretty much exactly what they did. UTSA ended up beating Western Kentucky for the second time this year, 49-41. Now, this game was honestly super aggressive. I loved watching this game too. I think this game kind of went exactly as their first meeting with Western Kentucky went, and it was a great game. UTSA jumped out early. I think Western Kentucky ended up scoring first. UTSA answered very quickly, but then right after that, UTSA just came up with some big stops and was able to grab that big lead. I think they were up 42-20 over Western Kentucky first. And really, that ended up leaving Western Kentucky kind of playing catch-up. And we've seen throughout the year, I don't know how much you guys have followed Western Kentucky, but they're not very good at playing catch-up. If they're down big like that, they kind of, I guess, kind of freak out in a sense. Now, they almost did come back against UTSA. I think, like you said, like I said, the final score was 49-41. So they ended up coming back just a little bit on the last play of the game. Bailey Zappi ended up throwing a pick, and that ended the game for UTSA and Western Kentucky. So UTSA is our Conference USA champions.
And yeah, that's the big thing is, I mean, Western Kentucky was no joke, and we knew that going into the year, and it's really hard to beat a good team twice. Not to mention, that
You're
first
right.
meeting was at the Hilltop at a night game. That's, I mean, if you speak Conference USA like we do, that's a very difficult environment to play in. So they go out and get that. To do it again, you have home field advantage this time, which is great.
And I think that was like their third largest crowd in UTSA history.
It was
too.
Packed.
So it was packed in the Alamo Dome.
Yeah, I mean, to say what Jeff Traylor has done for this UTSA program, still a pretty infant program in the scope of college football. I mean, this is their 8th season, I want to say. And you go out there, you bring in a new head coach, and he turned that program around. I mean, it was in really bad shape. And now you know that this is the type of momentum that then you start to improve your facilities. You start to bring in those recruits. People see this as, why go play at a larger school where we're not going to win when I can go win conference championships at conference in the Conference USA level? And I mean, obviously then they're going to be moving on to the AAC. And so it's one of those things. This is such a big momentum builder for what this UTSA team was to do. And so to answer the question, yes, do you want to go undefeated and beat North Texas?
Yes.
Of course you do. In the scope of things, is dropping one to a barely bowl eligible North Texas team at the last game of the season to then go on and win your conference championships. Undefeated is great. whatever.
Right, and kind of speaking on that game, that Western Kentucky offense is absolutely deadly.
Oh, absolutely.
Bailey Zappi, and now if you guys don't know,
Houston Baptist can tell you.
Right. So that Western Kentucky team, that whole coaching staff, including Bailey Zappi, their quarterback, was basically picked up from Houston Baptist and moved over to Western Kentucky. Now, Bailey's, they lead, I think they're the number 1 team in the FBS for passing offense. They are deadly. Bailey Zappi's got he's got 5,500 passing yards on the year, 56 touchdowns. So the fact that UTSA was able to come up with big stops and get ahead on this Western Kentucky offense, huge win for the Roadrunners. And like you said, this is a huge momentum shift for years to come. I think they can start competing with teams down in that San Antonio area, like Texas and stuff like that, pulling recruits. It's a huge win for them, I think, on and off the field.
Absolutely. It no doubt is, and it's exactly what you want to do before you start going through different conference ships and everything. And, hey, Jeff Traylor has now laid the foundation for Texas high school football coaches. Joey McGuire is going to try and do his same thing. Both those guys start popping off like this. The scope of college football in Texas, it begins, there's a narrative being written that really begins to change this. So Jeff Traylor is a fundamental key into doing it, and he went out there and he turned this UTSA program around, and looks like he's sticking around.
Absolutely. We'll go ahead and move on to our next question. This is the Big 12 championship. If Baylor is to win the Big 12 title, which of course they did, what must be different from its first meeting with Oklahoma State? Now, just to recap, Baylor did defeat Oklahoma State this weekend 21-16 to claim the Big 12 championship title for this season. Now, I think the main thing that they had to do different from their first meeting with Oklahoma State was they had to step it up on that defense. And that's exactly what they did. Now, to start off, Baylor did start their freshman quarterback, Blake Shapen, over Gary Bohannon. And to start off with that offense, they actually looked pretty great. One thing that I did mention last week is that the first meeting, they got lucky and they got to see a bad Spencer Sanders. He threw he threw 3 interceptions last game, but the thing was they couldn't take advantage of that. They couldn't capitalize on those interceptions, which really hurt them because they were put into good field position. They just couldn't capitalize on them. Now, this meeting, it was a little bit different. Spencer Sanders, again, they caught a bad Spencer Sanders. He threw 4 interceptions this game, and of course, Baylor was able to take advantage of that. They were able to score off of 2 of those interceptions, so that was one thing that they obviously did a lot better than last. And of course, going back to that Baylor defense, they were able to come up with some big stops, in the end zone to control most of that game. I think the stat, Oklahoma State ran 17 plays, and inside Baylor's, I think, 10-yard line, and they were only able to score 7 points off of that. So that Baylor defense in the red zone was absolutely deadly. And kind of speaking to that, I don't know if you saw the last play of that game or the last drive of that game. It was absolutely brutal if you're an Oklahoma State fan. But just to recap, so about a minute left in the game, Oklahoma State drives down to Baylor's 2-yard line. Of course, it's 1st and 10. They got 4 tries to get it into the end zone to not only tie the game, but to win the game. And of course, that would probably put them into the college football playoff. They were unable to do so. 4 different tries. That red zone defense of Baylor just absolutely demolished that offense in that time and came up with a big stop. And that led Baylor to a Big 12 title for the first time in quite a bit.
Yeah, it's been a while, and that's the thing. There's the old adage in football and sports in general: defense wins championships. And
you
Baylor's
are absolutely
defense
right.
did that, and you hit the nail on the head. I remember sitting there after the Baylor Oklahoma State game and saying, "How in the world does an opposing quarterback throw 4 interceptions and you lose a game?"
Right. That's unacceptable. You can't do that.
You can't.
It's just I look at it like this: if your quarterback on the opposing side is going to basically hand you the game, because that's what he's doing. If you're throwing that many picks, if you're having that many turnovers,
literally handing
you're
you the ball.
handing you the game.
Literally.
Here's the win, and you can't do anything with it.
Right.
Something has got to change.
And the fact that they were able to do that on the biggest stage is what you have to do. And you said it too. Shout out to Blake Shapen. Obviously, we thought that when Gary Bohannon wasn't going to play in this game, that there was a good chance that Baylor really didn't stand a chance. Because he played in the last game and they still couldn't get it done. He went 23 for 28, 180 yards passing and 3 touchdowns. And I mean, that's spectacular from your next man up philosophy there. But yeah, it was defense. Defense wins championships. This game is, if any coach ever wants to show people that, go ahead and put on that last play of the whole little series, the last first down series.
You need to show up, put up. You need to put up that ending frame of that guy who's just reaching for the end zone. That's just one, I swear, like 1 inches
yard
short of the goal line.
Yeah.
That's what you got to throw up
and
there.
that's
if
all
you're
it takes
that.
is 1 yard. And the fact they capitalized on their mistakes, and then the defense never quit playing.
Yes.
So there you go. Congratulations to Baylor. And man, what a deal that athletic department has had in the checks notes past like 8 months.
Yeah, seriously, you got a freaking national title for the men's basketball team, and the women's, I'm not sure. I think they made it to the Final Four.
They fell just short,
year.
but I mean they're perennial powerhouse down there. So
that athletic department is just fantastic over there. Shout out to them for sure. All right, we'll move on to our next question. Over under 150.5 rushing yards for Cincinnati. I kind of fell victim to this. I definitely took the under for this because I'll show you why, or I'll tell you why. So the last time Cincinnati faced a great rush defense was back when they played Notre Dame. I think the third game of the season, they ended up beating Notre Dame. And they held him to under 100 rushing yards. And as you know, Houston's got a great rushing defense.
Yeah.
And I had it on here what they were ranked, but they're in I believe they're in the top 20 in the FBS. So just going off of that, I was like, all right.
Oh yeah, that seems like it could.
I'm taking the
work.
under on this. No.
And then Jerome Ford happened.
Absolutely not. Yeah, it was
that guy alone went 18 carries for 187 yards. He was averaging 10 yards per carry. And then he looked into the camera and he said, "This one's for you, Malpel."
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened.
He said, "I'm going to prove you wrong on this one." Yeah, but the final score to this game, this was the AAC championship. Cincinnati defeated Houston 35-20. And I'm going to say it, I think this score does not indicate what this game actually looked like. Cincinnati just had a total domination over this Houston team. They looked fantastic on offense as well as defense. They were so balanced on offense, which I think really hurt this Houston defense. You know, as great as your rush defense is, if you're balanced on offense where you can sling it as much as you can run it, there's not much that you can do to stop a team like that. So I just think they had full control of this game. And I really think that if you're looking at it, I think Cincinnati just had a lot more to play for than Houston. Houston's already got one loss. They lost at the beginning of the season to Texas Tech. Of course, they're already bowl eligible. Yeah, they were playing for a conference championship, but if you're Cincinnati, you're playing for a spot in the college football playoff, the first G5 team to make it into the playoffs. And I think there was just more riding on it for Cincinnati, and it really showed.
Yeah, there was never a doubt that Houston was going to show up to this game and they were going to get the best Cincinnati team possible. There was never a doubt about that. I'm going to give a shout out to Clayton Tune. I mean, 250 yards of passing. He went out there and he was able. Now, quite a bit of those were garbage time, but you kind of do that. The other thing that I feel like deserves a little bit of credit there, and this is kind of a surprising stat, but Cincinnati went 0-8 on third down conversions.
Really?
So Houston's defense did a pretty decent job of holding them to a certain extent. It was more of the long breakaway plays it's great to be able to hold them, but if you're going to let Jerome Ford throw up 187 yards of rushing on you single-handedly, and then there was more after that, to get up to 210 as a team, it's like he carried the team on the back.
Right, and Houston didn't have a bad game. I don't think Clayton Tune had a horrible game. They just were able to put a ton of pressure on Clayton Tune, and which ultimately resulted in a pretty big dub for this Cincinnati team. All right, we'll move on to our last question of the week. A little FCS action. What is the key matchup for Prairie View A&M to win its first SWAC title since 2009? Now, if you don't know much about these two teams, I guess I'll go ahead and tell you what the final score to this was. Prairie View A&M played Jackson State for the SWAC championship this weekend. Jackson State defeated Prairie View A&M 27-10. And if you guys don't know, Deion Sanders is the head coach of Jackson State. So if that name sounds familiar, that is why. Now, I think we talked about this past week the main matchup. Now, this Prairie View A&M team is good. I think they went 7-4 on the year. Definitely
7-5.
7-5.
Well, yeah, with this loss.
Right, 7-5 with this loss. They've taken it a step, and I must mention that one of those losses was to Texas A&M. So that.
Yeah, go ahead and ride that one.
I don't know if you really count that one much, but this team is really from where they have been in the past, they've really stepped it up, and I think playing for a title like this is really a testament to how much they have stepped it up over the past couple of years. And I think that to answer this question, this was the toughest defense that Prairie View A&M has faced all season. That's what Tepper had said, and I think this game was really just a testament to that. Now, Jawan Pass, Prairie View A&M starting quarterback, didn't have a bad game. He had 16 touchdowns on the year. He's a great quarterback. Jackson State's defense was just stellar. They were just, I think the halftime score was, I think Jackson State was only leading 13-10 at halftime. And if you see, the final score was 27-10. So Jackson State Prairie View A&M could not do anything that second half. Absolutely nothing.
They came out in that second half, and it was punt after punt after punt. They couldn't get anything going offensively. And then from a Jackson State perspective, they have a lot of versatility on offense, and then they had the guy in Peyton Pickett that was able to go over 100 yards on rushing. And so when it gets to that, the defense, you have a little bit of trouble stopping the run game from Jackson State, and then you look at it of just not getting anything to go offensively. They looked good in the first half. It looked like, okay, here we go. It can be a competitive game. Getting shut out in the second, just that hurts. And
they also Jackson State's defense also forced 5 turnovers from Prairie View A&M. So at that
That'll
point,
do it.
And like we were kind of talking about during that Baylor game in Oklahoma State, they were able to capitalize on some of those turnovers and get good field position, and it killed them. But hey, a great testament to Prairie View A&M's season. Congrats to them. They're really stepping it up with that program, and yeah, it's exciting to see what they're going to be able to do in these next coming seasons. So, yeah.
It absolutely is. So there it is.
Recap.
Yeah, college football burning questions. So this Thursday, I'll go ahead and do a programming note there. We will not be doing college football burning questions. We're going to have Malpal and Ish over in the Greg Powers Memorial Power Zone. I guess we're still calling it that. To do kind of a bowl breakdown type of thing. So this will be the last that we kind of talk of college football until probably, obviously, after the state championships. But we will have some college football talk on Thursday. So if that's what you're here for, Thursday's your day.
And I got to give a big shout out to the Mean Green. We are going to a bowl game in Frisco. So if you're, throw up your claw. So if you're in the area and you're a Mean Green fan, go to the bowl game. Support your Mean Green.
There you go. We are Texas football today. We're every weekday at noon talking football in the Lone Star State. We hope you will consider becoming a Dave Campbell's Texas Football subscriber at texasfootball.com. And a big reason is the guy that we're about to show his interview, Matt Stepp. He has a lot of subscriber content, and it's good subscriber content that you should get your eyes on. So texasfootball.com/subscribe. This one we'll give to you for free, though. Matt Stepp was on the road last week in the regional final round of the Texas High School football playoffs, and he watched the Timpson Bears take down Centerville 48-13, and he caught up with the head coach of those Timpson Bears afterwards, Coach Kerry Therwhanger. Here is Matt Stepp's conversation with Timpson head coach Kerry Therwhanger.
Matt Stepp, Dave Campbell's Texas Football, back here at the beautiful Tomato Bowl in Jacksonville, Texas. Here with the head coach of the Region 3 2A Division I champions, Coach Kerry Therwhanger, after a 48-13 win for the Timpson Bears over Centerville. Congratulations, Coach.
Well, I appreciate it. I mean, our kids came out, and this is where we wanted to be. After last year, we, said this is where we want to get back to and see if we can't do something different. And,
opportunity now.
Shiner's sitting there waiting. I'm sure they're not worried about it, but we're just going to go in. I just so proud of these guys and my coaching staff and the adjustments we made at halftime to get away from these guys.
I was going to ask you, so Centerville came out. We kind of all knew, they wanted to try to keep the ball away from your offense is really explosive, and you got a lot of playmakers, and so their plan was to try to hold on to the football, constrict the football game. And I thought for, the first 20 20, 22 minutes of the game, they really did a great job at it. They held you guys to 2 first-half possessions. You know, you got the ball at the end of the half, but you were kind of scrambling there. You're up by 1 going into the locker room. The second half, you came out and outscored them 34-0 in the second half. It took control of the game. Was there a specific defensive adjustment that you guys made, or was it more a matter of just executing the game plan, and defeating blocks up front and disrupting them in the backfield?
Well, it's a little bit of both. I mean, our defensive staff got together and we made some adjustments on where we were lining up, you know, and how we were covering, especially over there, putting our linebackers over their tight ends and things like that. And then we challenged our kids. You know, we wanted to get back to the semifinals. How bad do you want it? You got 24 minutes. And even though they had held the ball the entire deal, we still had a lead at half. And so that was huge, you know, to be able to get the kids, you know, because
confidence, right?
Yeah, they were kind of down, not being able to get them off the field. But, you know, at the same time, you look up on the scoreboard, you're still ahead. So it worked out.
Is that when you turn for, instead of being a coach, to a psychologist a little bit? You tell the kids, hey, they played the perfect first half, and yet we're still winning the ball game. Did you kind of pick them back up a little bit? You have to kind of put your psychologist hat on a little bit, don't you?
I mean, that's the first thing I told them when we walked in the locker room. I said, as well as they played, they're still behind. And as bad as we played defensively, you know, just not making the plays when we needed to, we're still ahead. So, you know, keep your head up and let's go get it.
Now, you mentioned you guys got Shiner next week, and obviously they're the defending state champs. And when you guys played them last year, you know, you guys were a young ball club. That was your first rodeo that deep into the playoffs, playing a championship caliber program like Shiner. And they got the best of you guys. They played really well that night, and they were the eventual state champions for a reason. Right. Do you feel like now your kids, they've been through those battles? Do you feel like, you know, obviously the game's got to be played and you got to have a good week of preparation, all that good stuff, but do you feel like just at first glance your kids know what's ahead and they're going to be better prepared for that challenge kind of in this second shot?
Well, you would hope so. I mean, there shouldn't be any surprises. You know, you faced them last year. You know what's coming. You know who's in the backfield. You know what they got up front, and you know that they've been there and done that. So there shouldn't be any surprises. You know, and we're a year older. Most of our guys played in that game last year, so you know they've had a year to get stronger and to get mentally tougher. So, you know, let's just see what happens.
Have you talked to Coach Bodecker yet? Is there any day or time you're going to work that out probably this evening?
Try to play on Thursday, just simply because next week we got to play on Wednesday. You know, the winner has to play on Wednesday, so we're going to play Thursday. Site has not yet been determined.
You'll text me though, right? Won't you?
Yeah.
Coach does a good job of that. Final question for you. This is my first time at the Tomato Bowl since the remodel. It's been about 20 years since I've been to this stadium. I know you've been around in East Texas. What do you think of this facility? This is an amazing stadium. I thought Jacksonville ISD has done a great job keeping the character of this stadium, but making it really nice, the amenities and all that good stuff. It's a beautiful place, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we played the first round game here, and, you know, when Coach Hardy, we started talking about places, he mentioned this one, and I said, Coach, you're not going to find a better spot to play. I mean, no track around it. You know, you got the old rock walls and the train coming by, and so, yeah, it's just a great facility, and I appreciate Jacksonville ISD hosting us.
And a lot of black and gold in the bleachers. You got to be real happy with the community support. I'm sure they're going to be an even bigger crowd next week, I would imagine.
Well, I would hope so. You know, these guys have been behind us for a long, long time. You know, since I got here, they've been great, and the kids have bought in, and the town's bought in. I'm sure we'll have a bunch of people when we come back into town there waiting on us.
Coach, congratulations on the win. Enjoy that post-game meal, and be careful heading back to Timpson. We'll see you next week.
All right. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks so much for watching that video. If you would like more and to be notified when they come out, go ahead and click that subscribe button right
there. He is,
down
Timpson
there.
head coach Kerry Therwhanger, after their just really dominating performance over Centerville, 48-13, and boy, howdy, do they get a test this week. Stepp was at that regional final. I was at the opposite regional final watching Shiner and Refugio, and the Bears are going to have their work cut out for them with those Brook brothers from Shiner. But if there's one thing that we know about Coach Therwhanger is that he always has his guys ready to go. So we're excited to see that one go down, and we appreciate him taking the time to talk with our very own Matthew Stepp. Malpal, there is something that we want to ask you all to do, and that is to go to texasfootball.com and check out the voting for the Whataburger Super Team. So each year,
Dave Campbell's Texas Football partners with Whataburger to create the prestigious Whataburger Super Team. And this is where we go through and we name 40 athletes out of the entire state of Texas. Doesn't matter classification. It is 40 top-tier student athletes who play Texas high school football across the state to be named to the Whataburger Super Team, and a portion of them come from fan voting. So that is available right now on our website. Again, texasfootball.com. You'll go over to the awards tab, click on Whataburger Super Team, and you can see all the finalists that we have named for those top 40 spots. They get an awesome trophy from Whataburger. It looks kind of like the old Super Bowl trophy there. It's kind of a little replica of that. It is very, very cool. They get recognized, gift cards to Whataburger, which is probably the best part of it, if you ask me.
Oh, yeah.
But no, it's very prestigious. They'll end up in the magazine and everything like that. So if you want to go check that out, texasfootball.com, and vote now for the Whataburger Super Team. And finally, Malpal, there is just one thing left to do. It's one of my favorite segments of the week, the DCTF Top 10 Plays of the Week. We go through, we check out as many Texas high school football plays as we can get our hands on. Specifically, thank you to all of you who use the hashtag DCTF Top 10 on Twitter. That way we can go ahead and pull those videos. If you ever see a play, especially state semifinal round this week, we should be able to absolutely see some amazing plays. Last week, we put together the top 10 for the regional final round of the playoffs, and here they are, the DCTF Top 10 Plays of the Week.
It's either run it or pass it. Hopkins will throw it to the end zone. It's caught. It's a touchdown. Second one of the night for Brian Spotwood.
Set of downs for LBJ. Guarding quick throw, looking for Trent Leary. It's completed. Leary, oh my goodness, dodges one tackler. He's gonna dodge the entire team. Say goodbye to him. Touchdown, Trent Leary.
60 yards, makes one man miss. Angel Neary on that defensive back, and all of a sudden, it's a new ball game again. Fredericksburg had all the momentum, back-to-back touchdowns. Trent Leary, if you've ever seen a guy who can get his way out of a coffin, there he is right there. Somehow he escapes it, and at 60 yards, he's in the touchdown in the end zone.
Second half, he could only be down 2 score. Pitch it out. Doug Brooks to the outside. Here goes Doug Brooks. He's so hard to bring down. Breaks out of a tackle. Doug Brooks will score.
And they go trips right, receiver left. Quarterback's going to take it, and he'll keep it. And then spin, breaks a tackle, 35 to the 40, to the 50, down the sidelines, 30, 20, 10. He is going to score. Wow. Major Bowden does something that...
$35-0 first half score in the Region 4 final against Vandergrift. Jones delivers a deep ball. Nichols hops up, makes a wonderful catch. He beats Jonathan Hall. What a circus grab at the 19-yard line.
McHenry going deep for Rogers. And it is caught! Oh, what a catch inside the 5! Down to the 1!
Amazing. Just took it away.
Need to get down inside the 22 for a first down. Ariano taking a shot down the field. Jump ball is... touchdown! It's caught for the touchdown for Diebold.
2 of Brennan. And it's a handoff. Headed right. DJ breaks a tackle. Trucks another. Spin move to the 15. DJ's still going 10. DJ 5. DJ high step. My goodness, what a run. Derek Johnson, 32 yards. Breaking tackles. Spinning off of guys. Stiff arming guys. Touchdown Cavaliers. Third of the opening half.
Thanks so much for watching. There it is, our DCTF Top 10 plays of the week from the regional final round of the 2021 Texas High School Football Playoffs. Again, we will be putting those again together for one more week next week for the state semifinal round. So over the weekend, if you see any clips of Texas High School football plays that you think deserve to be in the DCTF Top 10, just use that hashtag that's right down there on the screen, hashtag DCTF Top 10, and we will go and take a look at those. But before we get to that, Malpal, we head over to Malpal, I guess, for America's second favorite segment. Oof, that was a mistake on my part. We head over to Malpal for America's favorite segment. Final thoughts.
Thank you. Thanks for putting some respect on that.
Put some respect on my name.
We had a couple of questions asking if the picks is still going to be out this week, and yes, it will be. And our very own Ashley Pickle will be doing it. So yes, be on the lookout for that. We'll probably release that on Wednesday night, Thursday, as
Wednesday,
we always do.
probably.
So just be on the lookout for that.
Yeah, you're stuck with me a lot this week. You can hashtag blame Tepper for that. He decided it was good to have a kid right now. No, Max is beautiful, and we are so excited to have him. We just like to give Tepper crap whenever we possibly can. So this is all directed at Tepper, not Tep Wife or Max or Hank. But yes, just a quick reminder too. We did Tep, Pick and Step last night. So the Tep and Step podcast is out. It should be in your feeds. We put that out last night. It is Stepp and I breaking down. We go through all 20 games. And then, I am we're going to end the show, and I'm going to go attempt to record the picks. So say a prayer for Malpal, because she's got to be the one to edit it together. So we'll see.
You're going to do great.
Yeah, we'll try.
I have faith in you.
So yes, everything is still going on as normal, just a little bit of a different face. That's going to do it for us. Thank you for spending your day with us. Give us a like on Facebook, facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, instagram.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Twitter at DCTF. And, of course, see all of our content on TexasFootball.com. Thanks to Timpson head coach Kerry Therwhanger, goodness gracious.
The names.
For being our guest for Malpal. A reminder, we will have Craig Way on the show tomorrow. I'm Ashley Pickle. Vince Young, please come get your Player of the Year trophy. We will see you tomorrow on Texas Football Today.